Well, hello, and sorry for the delay. I had some technical difficulties there very much at the last second. Oddly enough, things were going well, and then they weren't. So, yeah, that's where we are. I don't even know what to tell you there. I'm having all kinds of software issues this evening. I had to uninstall a bunch of stuff to get my computer operational, and some things are working, some things aren't. I spent several hours today trying to rectify it, and it didn't entirely work out the way I wanted it to. But that's fine. I'll figure it out later. Anyway, I had committed to doing this, so I thought I would absolutely jump in for a little bit to just say hello to you fine folks and apologize that I am late and a little discombobulated. I think my camera's doing a mirror effect here right now, which is not what I wanted, and I don't have any control over any of the imaging effects. So my apologies. It was not meant to be that way. Nevertheless, I'm able to hobble a show together, which is something I am a little overdue for. Now, I did manage, for those of you who checked it out, I did manage to put together a jazz show on Sunday, and something I intend to do a little bit more of is continue to produce more jazz audio content, but I'm going to live stream the YouTube feed. It'll be on Twitch and YouTube because there's apparently an audience for that. I don't know if I have one, but I do understand that a lot of people enjoy that type of interaction. I'm going to add some cameras in so you'll see mixing consoles and some technical stuff for fun. But that's to come in the near future. For now, I'm just going to, chill out and do my thing. Not exactly sure what the thing is, but nevertheless, here we are. Just a second, I'm going to just take a sip of my beer. Yeah, I decided to have a beer. There's a hockey game on tonight, and I'm not that invested in it because it's Toronto and Florida. And I'm a Senators fan through and through. However, I'm not going to lie, the hockey has been entertaining. But again, I'm not horribly, terribly invested in it. Who wins, who loses, I could care less. Or I could not care less. Yeah, I could not care less. I had to think about that. It's confusing there. I could not care less who wins or loses. It doesn't matter to me. In this particular series with Toronto and Florida, that is, I am hopeful that Winnipeg will be triumphant in their series, as well as Edmonton. Look, if Toronto makes it through to the third round as a Canadian team, that's a good thing. We got to be on Team Canada, even though I'm not a Toronto fan, and there's reasons why, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm not here about that. But 1 second. I was getting a little hoarse there, and I have to apologize. Well, Stephen, I'm glad you like the songs and stories. I've been doing that for 5 years now, on and off. For about 3 years, I was producing a show. Well, 2 years for sure. Yeah, 2 years for sure. I was producing a show almost once a week, and then I slowed it down, and they got really slow. And I have not had the time the mental acuity, if you will, to invest in producing that show, because it takes a lot of time to research, and I put a lot of notes together, and trying to put a cogent, coherent jazz show together it's a bit time consuming. I have some Mixcloud shows I want to get going again, and I will stream those live, but I will not be able to replay them because I will be hit with 100 copyright violations. But I will like to, I can stream those live on Mixcloud where I don't get copyright violations because the artists get paid via Mixcloud. So it's not a challenge and it's not an effort, but I will put together a few. There's Lola. I will put together a few new mixes for the Mixcloud 4-hour shows. 3 to 4 hour 20-song compilation shows where I talk about the artists, sometimes in depth, sometimes with my personal experience with maybe some of the artists that I've met or had the pleasure of seeing. Anyway, it's a whole big different thing. 1 second. Lola is in the studio. And Lola, do you want to come up? She might want to come up. Hang on. Lola, come here. Come on. Come on up. Come on up, sweetheart. There she is. What a good girl. Hey, Lola. Are you my best girl? Are you my best girl, Lola? You're so sweet. Such a sweet girl. She's such a good girl. She loves her daddy, apparently. I get the vibe anyway. So I have to renew a script for rosacea because it's acting up again, and it's painful and unsightly and not comfortable. But just to let you know that, yeah, I'm very much a human. Oh, Lola. Oh, Lola. Lola. What's that? No interest in the microphone whatsoever with her. Okay, there's a strange glow. I don't know where that's coming from. Oh, I know what that is. Sorry. I couldn't tell what that was. That was my in-ear monitor cable. It kind of freaked me out. I thought it was the outline of my jacket. So yes, I am in the studio this evening, sitting here, trying to relax, trying to put together something for you and talk in a manner that has you realize that we are all human. And despite how difficult this world is getting to be for so very many of us, we can still find joy in little things when we share with one another. A little thing that I like to share is, well, you just saw her, Lola, my beautiful dogo. She is an amazing gift to me. And I have to thank my beloved Bridget. And it was actually 2 years ago, yesterday, when we had our first date. I thought it was tomorrow, but I was very confused. All day today, I thought it was Tuesday, and it was actually Wednesday, which was bizarre because I had 2 job interviews on Tuesday. But I don't know, the way that sometimes when you get locked into a situation like I was today, spending all day trying to fix this computer, and it's not entirely there yet, but for the most part, I'm almost there. I've got a lot of things fixed, and things are working better. I am, however, a few steps away from getting this corrected and straightened out entirely the way I want it to be. That being said, I did get lost in sort of a bit of a time loop today. It was, honest to goodness, around 5 o'clock, I looked at my watch. I'm like, oh my goodness, I've been here too long. It's time to get out of the studio, get away from the computer, and take Ms. Lola for a walk. And we were out walking in the field in the local park. And I pulled out my phone to go, oh my goodness, it's gotten awfully chilly all of a sudden. And I was a little underdressed, but I was fine. Because this morning when we went for our walk, it was about 16, 17 degrees and sunny and very humid and very warm. And we went out around 5 o'clock. It was not the case. So I pulled my phone out of my pocket to check the weather, and I'm looking at the weather, and I'm going like, Wednesday, May 7th. It's not Wednesday, it's Tuesday. Is it when? Then I started to doubt everything. I literally had a moment of where I thought I saw two people. So we're walking to the park, and we walk towards the sidewalk, and there's two people approaching me. And there was a split second where I thought, I should ask these people what the date is. But they could see me looking at my phone with this quizzical look on my face, and I thought, no, they might. If I ask them what today's date is, they might look at me and go, should we call for some help? I was convinced it was Tuesday. That's never happened to me before. And I think it was because I was so buried deep in the work on the computer in the studio that I just lost my place in time, if you will. And that's a first. Now, I think that has to do with the ADHD. Bridget said, wow, that's incredible focus. I'm like, well, it's probably just the ADHD. I got the problem solved. Almost everything is fixed. Not 100%, but really close. I'll get the last couple of things in place later this evening. But yeah, it was a very bizarre moment in my life today where I did not know where I was in time. I honest to goodness, I was convinced it was Tuesday. Again, then I went, wait a minute, no, I had 2 job interviews on Tuesday, so that would have been yesterday, because that happened yesterday. I had the job interviews yesterday, and they were scheduled Tuesday. Why can't I remember Monday? And then it came to me later. I was like, it's not that I can't remember Monday. It's that Monday was a bit of a blur because I was suffering from severe allergies and lack of sleep, and I was a bit of a mess. So I'm still sane. Sanity being on a spectrum. My mind hasn't completely slipped away from me, but I am a little confused, you know. Just a second, please. I'm just going to... It's Laker Lager. It's about $1.50 a can or something like that. Not a buck of beer, but inexpensive and within my budget right now because my budget is very limited. Still on the job search and still hoping to find something soon. And I have had a number of offers. I'm not going to lie, and that's, this is mental. It's talking about mental health. Let's talk about my mental health. I've had a number of offers, some for jobs that I am grossly unqualified for. And I've had Bridget say, well, no, you can. I'm like, I don't have those. I don't know how to write code. I don't have the programming ability to do what they're asking for. She's like, oh, you could learn it. I go, yeah, it's going to take about 12 weeks, 8 hours a day. Who's going to pay me to do that? The system is in need of some repairs. Anyway, do I want to learn a new skill at this age? Truth be told, yes. I've been developing the skills that I have for this particular milieu over the last few years. I knew how to do this before, but I've gotten better at it as time has marched on. And one second. Had to clear my throat. As time has marched on, I've been able to improve upon all of this and get better at it. It's through trial and error and, let's run something and see what happens. But to sit down for 8 hours a day in a classroom for the next 12 weeks I'll be 57 soon. Not going to lie, that's not super appealing to me. It just isn't. I'm not saying I'm above it or that it's beneath me, because that is absolutely not the case in either sense. But, however, I need to find a way to earn money while I'm doing it. And if I start to do it on my own, EI cuts me off. So it's pretty disheartening. Like, let me see if I get this correct. I'm going to try and better myself by taking a course. And I'm unemployed, and I'm getting employment insurance, which is barely above CERB. Like, barely above CERB. It's about, I think, $120 a month more than CERB. Or maybe $140. It's not a lot. And CERB is, if you're not Canadian, you probably don't know what CERB is. It was a $2,000 stipend given to us, which was taxed, by the way, during COVID when everybody was asked to stay home. And it was appreciated because it helped a lot of us keep alive. And some landlords were kind enough to suspend rent, and they were able to suspend payments. And anyway, it was all relative. I'm not going to get into it, but it's not enough to thrive on. It's not a living wage. And it needs to improve and increase for us to be able to advance. And also, if I am willing to take a course to upgrade my skill set, you shouldn't cut me off. I should be able to take that course, because I know I can find work if I take that course. The position that I was asked to fulfill yesterday is in very high demand. There's only a handful of people who do that thing. But if I decide to enroll in the course, which will cost a lot of money, which I don't have, and I have to report it because I'm incapable of being dishonest and lie to people, I would get cut off from my employment insurance because I'm taking a course, and I would be in the hole for the money I need to take the course, and I'd have no money rolling in. Do you see the conundrum and the problem here? It's like how the system is punching down on us. The system is literally punching down on me. And it is not, it's not conducive to the atmosphere one wants when one is trying to improve one's lot in life. Anyway, I don't want to wail on about the system here. That's not why I'm here this evening, but it does affect my mental health, and this show is all about mental health and what we can do to help each other out during times of struggle. So if you're struggling, I urge you to come here to this space where I can hopefully speak some soft words into your ear. Hopefully it will help you to relax a little bit while we discuss what we're feeling. I think this can be, yes, certainly, I'm delivering it in an ASMR style voice. I'm a little hoarse this evening, but that's allergy driven. But we could have a meeting once a week where people can join in the chat and say what you're feeling, and I will talk about what I'm feeling. And maybe we can lift each other up and prop each other up and make things a little bit better for each one of us. To know that there's a community out here that supports one another. There's lots of communities that support each other in different aspects, but I don't know of an ASMR mental health channel other than mine. I'm not saying there isn't one. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I don't know of any others. If there are others, please feel free to drop a message or an email or something in the chat so I can reach out to those other folks and we can create a greater and larger community where we can literally lean in and help one another. Because talking about it sometimes is the best thing we can do. Now, when I'm in the midst of deep depression, when I'm suffering horribly, when it's very dark, I want to talk about anything but that. I want to discuss music, sports, what I had for breakfast, anything but what my head is feeling. I need to be away from that so that I can concentrate on feeling better long enough so that I can deal with that. Now, I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it does to me, and I'm sure there's a few other people out there who feel the same way. Anyway, I am going to take my leave. I want to say thank you to everybody for coming out and hanging out tonight. And I will, I'll be back again soon, sooner than you think. I'm intending to do a lot more of this. More jazz shows, more ASMR shows, more mental health chats, as my schedule is not just allowing me, but I'm scheduling. I'm going to do more, and I promise you I will see you very, very soon. You take care.